The Cursed City, No Escape After Sunset. In the heart of Italy, nestled between towering mountains and dense forests, lies Bellarossa, a small city that maps have long abandoned. Legend has it that this eerie place is haunted by vengeful spirits who trap anyone daring to enter after nightfall. Marco, a young photographer obsessed with exploring abandoned locations, dreamed of uncovering the mystery of Bellarossa. Stories of cursed spirits and disappearing travelers only fueled his curiosity. Spirits that don't let you leave is just an old wives' tale, Marco declared with a smirk as he packed his camera. He convinced his three friends, Giovanni, Clara, and Elisa, to join him on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Excitement filled the air as they set off, oblivious to the horror awaiting them. The group followed a narrow dirt road through an overgrown forest until they reached a rusty gate. A faded inscription above it read, "You are here forever." Nervous laughter broke the silence as they stepped inside. The city was eerily quiet, with crumbling houses and overgrown streets. The afternoon sun barely penetrated the strange, chilling atmosphere. In the main square stood a dry fountain surrounded by statues. The figures seemed lifelike, as though they were watching the group. "This place is perfect for photos," Marco whispered, his voice trembling slightly. As the sun set, a strange unease crept over them. The streets seemed to stretch endlessly, twisting in unnatural ways. They decided to head back to the car, but the path they had taken earlier had vanished. The forest now appeared as an impenetrable wall of mist. They noticed a dim light flickering in one of the houses. Desperate for answers, they decided to investigate. Inside, the house was eerily preserved, with a table set as if someone had just been there. As they stepped further in, the door slammed shut behind them. Footsteps echoed from the floor above. "Who's there?" Marco shouted, but there was no reply. A shadow began to stretch across the walls, slowly descending the staircase. Elisa whispered in terror, "We shouldn't be here. We need to leave now." When they fled the house, they found the square now filled with ghostly figures. They stood motionless, but seemed to stare directly at the group. Marco raised his camera, trying to capture the scene, but the images on his screen were distorted. Faces of tormented people appeared in the photos, their expressions twisted in agony. Laughter, whispers, and screams filled the air. Disembodied voices echoed, "No one leaves. You belong here now." They ran blindly through the streets, but every path led back to the square. The city itself seemed alive, trapping them within its labyrinthine layout. Suddenly, Elisa screamed and vanished into the fog. Moments later, Giovanni and Clara were pulled into the darkness, their cries fading into silence. Marco was left alone, clutching his camera. The next morning, villagers from a nearby town discovered Marco's camera abandoned near the forest edge. The last photos told a chilling story. They showed Marco's friends standing by the fountain, but their faces were frozen in horrifying, lifeless expressions, as if they had turned into the very statues that surrounded the square. Marco was never seen again. To this day, locals warn travelers to avoid the area at all costs. They whisper of strange lights flickering in the trees and faint voices calling out to anyone who ventures too close. But beware, if you follow the voices, you may never return, becoming another lost soul in the cursed city of Bellarossa. So, do you dare visit the cursed city?